Marina Sharapova seems to have barely raised a sweat at this year's Open. So far, the fourth seed's lost just 2 games for the tournament. Her second round victim was American Jamie Hampton. 5-time champion Serena Williams was just as ruthless, racing through the first set against her 49th ranked opponent. Even though Williams has barely been able to train due to a badly sprained ankle, it didn't show today. She scored another first set bagel. The second was a little closer. Her camp had a fright when she was wrong-footed, but it was a false alarm. Williams powering to her 500th career victory. The one-sided women's matches continued over at Hisense. Ana Ivanovic lost just 1 point on her serve in the first set, and that was due to a double fault. The former world number 1 showing the type of form which saw her reach the Australian Open final 4 years ago. But the seeds didn't have it all their own way. Petra Kvitova appeared to be coasting after closing out the first set 6-2. However, her opponent, Carla Suarez Navarro, wasn't following the script, forcing the Wimbledon champion to a decider. Kvitova only just hanging on to win 6-4 in the third.
6-2.
Wildcard James Duckworth got off to a dream start against the 9th seed. With the home crowd behind him, the Australian shot to a 3-love lead and had Janko Tipsarevic on the ropes when he closed out the first set 6-3. With experience on his side, the Serb levelled at 1 set all, but Plucky Ducky, as he's now been nicknamed, wasn't slowing down. In his first Grand Slam, Duckworth pushed Tipsarevic all the way, the Serb eventually closing out the match in 4. David Ferrer was also forced to work harder than expected, the 5th seed needing 5 sets to close out the match against American Ryan Sweeney. It was an easier day for Novak Djokovic. The world number 1 only lost 2 games in his first round match and was in another menacing mood. Djokovic barely shifted out of first gear against Santiago Geraldo. The biggest cheers reserved for when the defending champion changed his shirt. Australia's second-ranked player Matthew Ebden started as underdog against Kai Nishikori, but dominated early proceedings on Margaret Court Arena. He led 2 sets to love when Nishikori called the trainer. The injury timeout triggered a comeback for Japan's 24th seed, who forced the match to a 5th. It was new territory for Ebden, who had nothing left to give. Nishikori advancing to equal his best result at Melbourne Park. And new coach Ivan Lendl was able to relax during Andy Murray's second round match. The 4th seed enjoyed a drama-free victory. Murray will now meet Michael Lodger in the 3rd round.
6-1, 6-4.
The 4th night session of the 2012 Australian Open saw former quarter-finalist Aussie Jelena Dokic taking on world number 9 Marion Bartoli. The pair met last week in Sydney with the Frenchwoman winning in straight sets. The opening set here following a similar line as both players traded breaks of serve before Bartoli broke away to take it 6-3. The second set was all Bartoli as she ran out the set and the match 6-2. The Margaret Court night match was a cracker with Brazilian Tomás Bellucci taking on Victoria Azarenka's dancing coach and the 14th seed Gael Monfils. It looked like an upset was on the cards with the Brazilian taking the first set 6-2. There was a complete turnaround in the match with the Frenchman showing off his bag of tricks to take the second 6-love. The third, a tighter contest with the 14 seed taking it 6-4. In the end, Monfils was too strong, winning the 4th set and wrapping up the match 6-2. In the second match on Rod Laver Arena, 2 of the veterans of the tour, Leighton Hewitt and Andy Roddick, faced off for the 14th time. The A-Rod got the early running, taking the first set 6-3. From there, Roddick suffered an injury scare, receiving treatment and leaving the court early in the second set. The Aussie lifting to take that set 6-3. It was a similar story in the third, with Hewitt grabbing the opportunity and taking the set 6-4. It was to be the last action in the match. Roddick, clearly hampered by an upper leg injury, forced to retire. Hewitt to face rising star Milos Raonic in the third round. Meanwhile, on court 6, an epic was being played out between a pair of Frenchmen, 12th seed Gilles Simon and Julien Benneteau. The first two sets alone lasting a staggering 1 hour and 23 minutes, both going to Benneteau, 7-5, 7-6. Simon fought back, taking the next two sets 6-1, 6-3. But the final set saw Benneteau taking the advantage, finishing the stronger to take the decider 6-2.
3 sets to 2, 7-5, 7-6, 1-6, 3-6.